He just went for my door. As we walk around to the side of the car, he's asking me questions. Do I have any weapons? I told him no. Do I have any money? I said, well, there may be money in the car. So he goes in the car, gets the money, takes me around to the back and puts me in cuffs. I'm like, well, why you put me in cuffs? Just for having money? That's not illegal. Well, I didn't know at the time his partner was in my car looking around. Next thing I know, Gladstone, he was like, oh, look what I got, look what I got. And he pulled out a little teeny bag of marijuana. Now we get to keep your money. Now we get to keep your money. So I was like, well, why? That's not, first of all, that's not mine. I don't know where y'all got that from. Second of all, how can you keep my money? It's against the law. You can't have money and weed at the same time. And they threw me in the paddy wagon, took me to Central Bookings.
So I get a call and it's an unfamiliar voice. This is Officer Jenkins and we have your car. If you want your vehicle, you need to come get it. So I was like, well, my kids are here. I have to wait for someone to come and to watch them. Probably an hour and a half had passed and I hear a knock at the door. So I look out my bedroom window. They was like, well, if you want your keys in your car, you got to come downstairs and show us ID. And I was like, well, first of all, who are you? Like, they're in plain black clothes, nothing saying police, FBI, anything. So I went to the front door and I opened the door up. They forced their way in and it's two of them. So the other one is like running up the steps, like charging in there. So we have a device like a panic alarm. So I hit the alarm system, it goes off, it wakes my son up. So he comes downstairs. And they was like, well, we're going to search your house. And I said, well, no, you're not going to do that. You don't have a search warrant. So at this time, regular Baltimore City police officers come there. And they was like, ma'am, are you okay? I said, I'm not okay. These officers or whomever they are do not have permission to be in my home. When I said that, they then pulled the two officers outside on my front porch. They come back into the house. They search the house. They searched my room, then they tore the basement apart. They came upstairs with white trash bag. And it was like, well, we have money and you had guns in your house. There was one shotgun in here. That was my grandfather's old shotgun. Everything else, that's not mine. Well, you're going to jail. You'll have to tell them that. Like, they were just nasty. So they placed me under arrest. For me, the emotional part of it was that they made my kids see it. My girls and my son had to witness their parents or their mother getting into a paddy wagon. So they took me to the Northeast precinct. I sat there in the paddy wagon for about 2 hours. When the guy came out, because I was in there, I was screaming. I was like, I got to go to the bathroom. I've been sitting here. Like, the sun is coming up at this point. So the paddy wagon driver, he got in and he was like, I'm so sorry. No one told me I had someone. I had to take the Central Bookings.
Me and my wife never spoke. I was arrested and then I was gone. And then they came to talk to her. And our stories were the same. Like, these guys went and got a signed warrant in the middle of the night. Like, where did you go? What was open?
Right.
You just went to a judge's house in the middle of the night and got a signed warrant to go into somebody's house because they had a half a gram of marijuana? That don't even make no sense.
And the sad part about the system is that there's no checks and balances. They don't hear your side of the story. All they know is what these officers wrote in black and white and your charging documents. And that's all they see. It's like, it's humiliating, it's embarrassing, and it's like, it's destroying lives. Like, we literally were unemployed for almost 2 years because you're going back and forth to court. The court cases are being postponed, and every time we went to court, they never showed up. They changed state's attorneys
3 different times.
And you go through all that, but they don't ask, like, well, what occurred? What happened? Nothing.
The thing people don't understand is these guys had the power to say whatever they wanted to say, and people are going to believe it. And you have to physically go get a lawyer, go to court, fight for your freedom because of the words of this person. A real close friend of mine, he knew of Ivan, and he contacted my family to retain Ivan for my bail review. Because at the time, they were holding us on $1 million, like $500,000 for me, $500,000 for her. I mean, this all started from a half a gram of marijuana, and that's it.
When I was a young prosecutor, I was driving my car I'm lost. And I see the police have some tape that's up. I try to go around it. Out of nowhere, this white cop slams their hands on the hood of my car. He's yelling and screaming. I'm in shock. I get out the car. He throws me against the car. He's angry. He's screaming. I have my wallet, my badge. I'm shaking, and my wallet falls down. When the wallet fell down, he sees my state's attorney's badge. He turned as white as snow at that moment in time. And I realized that without that badge, I was just a black man. With that badge, I was something different. The criminal justice system is built to believe the words of officers. Because if you don't, then that really erodes our belief in what's right and what's wrong. Jamal Walker and Javon Walker, they really kind of were the start to say, okay, these guys aren't really up and up. And the state is really wants to go forward. So I reach out to the alarm company, send a subpoena, and I have the paperwork showing that Ms. Walker pressed the alarm button and the officer showed up. The prosecutor asked the police, were there any other witnesses? They tell her no other witnesses showed up. At that moment in time, I give her the report. It talks about how the officers arrived and closed it out. But with the prosecutor knowing that Jenkins and Gladstone lied to her, she then dismisses the case and throws it out.
Sir, I'm Sergeant Wayne Jenkins with the Gun Trace Task Force. The reason you gentlemen being stopped today is you don't have a seatbelt on. How come you don't have a seatbelt on, sir?
After the Wayne Jenkins revelation with Mr. and Mrs. Walker, I started getting a lot more cases involving Wayne Jenkins.
Why can't I look and see what's going on in my car? That's what I'm asking.
Also realized in Baltimore, there sort of was a culture, so to speak, that the officers would stop you. They may take your money, but they wouldn't arrest you. But Wayne Jenkins, he kind of upped the ante. He was going to plant a gun. He was going to rob you. He was going to go ahead and break in your house, and he was going to arrest you. That was something I had never seen quite before. In 2012 to 2014, Wayne Jenkins, he had his own specialized unit, plainclothes. The key here is the plainclothes division of the Baltimore City Police Department.
My experience is that you have to have a plainclothes component if you're really trying to work the violence angle in Baltimore City.
A familiar scene in some Baltimore communities, plainclothes police officers looking for drugs.
I want you to be able to walk down the street and not be known as a cop and go in a corner store and figure out who's really selling the drugs.
Plainclothes officers get sent out on details to areas and they're told stamp out the violence. Just go out there, get aggressive, be tough, hold everybody to the bottom line. You're doing the specialized task force. We're giving you special benefits. You get especially bad policing. I think one flows into another.
We in policing assemble these units and these task forces that are pretty much given free rein to go out there and produce results. And when I say results, I'm just talking about numbers.
Their mission is to target gun dealers, trace guns used in crimes, and stem the flow of illegal weapons.
You know, as long as they're bringing in the numbers, as long as they're seizing the guns, you have folks out there with the autonomy to go about their work pretty much unchecked.
While executing a warrant, the Gun Trace Task Force found even more than what they were looking for.
But you have to believe in accountability. They've got to do some serious integrity testing.
I can understand the temptations of the work that they do, whether it's about money or whether it's about bringing the numbers in to satisfy the powers that be. So now you've got a whole nother set of problems from creating these specialized units that if they don't have the proper oversight of sergeants and lieutenants and managers, things go off the rails.
I just dress up and put the saddle on and hop on and go for a spin. This is the only place where I can come and escape everything that's going on out there. This is the only place where all of us could come down here and find something to do when you'll get your own inner peace and won't nobody bother you.